Welcome to ShapeMaster Software. We're just going to show you how things work today. So when you start ShapeMaster, it starts with the drawing properties open to this screen. You can put your job details in here, so you can call whatever your job number is. It can be name, number, a customer. Let's call this CabMaster, and the reference can be that. You can add notes into jobs as well. You can also select a material, so you can choose different brands. We're always adding new brands as well, and you can select different materials in here, whatever colors you like. You can also go through setup. The setup generally is set and forget. You do this normally once, and this is things like your company name, output folder. This is your layers and your colors and your dimensions, hole sizes, things like that, depths. You can set all your defaults, offsets, flap sizes, things like that. So we go for a 2-inch flap. And then you can put in your toggles, holes. What do you want to see for all these? What all your defaults are. QR codes. You can actually set a QR code on for your label if you like, and you can just use the standard text that the parts have, or you can actually use a custom one. We can specify something like this. So you go, well, let's start with the blank section. Let's have the, let's go with the job number. Then we could have like an underscore, and then the shape name, and then say another underscore, and then the dimensions, something like that, if you want to do something like that. And so it shows you down here what it's actually going to look like, and that's what it'll produce your QR code for. You can put different images on the labels as well, and this way you can actually output to other programs through my extensions. But again, when you start the job, you only go to the job details, because the rest of it is not overly relevant. It's all set and forget. You do it once and you don't have to worry about it again. So literally come in here, job settings, choose a material, hit OK. From there, you can click on any one of these parts. I'm just going to choose a 5-piece wrap to begin with. This is a fairly common part. Different ways you can do things here. You can specify the ratios. So you can actually go and click on each section. So section 1, so it shows me green's highlighted. You can specify the sizes, so the dimensions, or you can go to here and specify all of them. So I've got the width of 18 inches. So that means these 2, 3, and 4 are all 18 inches, but 1 and 5, these two here, are only 50% of that. And the reason this one makes it so easy, when we go to texture, you can see it goes from the flat sheet, and as we scroll it across, it folds together. You can see you've got that joint in the middle. I put the wireframe, you can see how it's joined in the center. So we've got a full column wrap in here. So that's where it makes it nice and easy. You get 50%, 100, 100, 100. So we know exactly how it's going to fit together. So that's a nice part to do there. You can see how it's there. You can, again, open up a little bit, see how it looks as it's folding as well, making sure things fit together. If you're happy with that, you press F12 on your keyboard, and it will add it to the list behind here. And it gives you dimensions and things, all the details about the part. This is a corner wrap. This is quite a very common part as well. So this sits on top of the corner of a building, essentially. So that's the corner as it all folds together. And again, you can open it up and see what it looks like laid out flat. We'll add one of those into the job. You can create your own parts as well. So there's a lot of parts in here. So again, this one here is actually a very common part as well. This one where it hooks over when you fold it together. You see that it's a flat panel on the building, but it hooks onto the bars. So it hooks on the bars and then sits onto the wall of the buildings. So I can add one of those in as well. And then you've got a lot of different parts in here by default. This is what it comes with, but you can start with something like this one here, which is just a blank rectangle. You can build your own parts in here. So you go, I want this to be 3 parts wide. I'm going to add an extra couple of parts up here and some more below it. So you can control the size of the parts. Again, ratios. So this is the height ratio. So the top one can be, say, 50% of the main section height. The lower one can be, say, 25%. This can be, say, 12 inches. So then it makes it all parametric as well. Same thing for width as well. So let's do something silly. The middle one's 50%. When you add in all your different sections, this is where you can start building all the different shapes. You can then go into sections, and again, you can control them all at this level if you like, and you can, whichever part you click on, you'll see will actually go green. And these are all the settings for this part here. So I can go, for example, this part here. I can go, well, let's go for the full height, and I'm going to go at 45 degrees. So it's now going to take 45 degrees for the full height of the part. So let's go to, say, section 1, and this one we can go full width. So it's going to go that length, and let's come in full width at 2 inches. There we go. So I've come down 2 inches, but it's a full width where I've come down. So you've got a lot of control over these different parts. You can then go into flaps, and I'm on that again on that section there. So I'm going to put a flap onto the left, and you'll see it's now on the left. I'm going to flap on this here. Now this is not the top section because it's now been cut off. So you see that the shape here, we're actually working on this angle here, not the top section, because we've now got an angle on it. So if that was to have a 45 like this here, there's a top on there, and that's this side bit. So there's no actual right hand on that piece there. So you can keep adding in flaps. So for an example, if I go to this piece here, and I don't go full height, I just go do a 3 inches by 3 inches, and cut out that corner. When I go to the flaps here, this will make more sense because you go, oh, I've got a top section, I've got a right section, there's the other bit there. So that's why it looks like this. So that's where it makes a bit more sense when you see it, how it goes like that. So you can add in your flaps for each section. You can change the angles of these flaps as well. I want to add an extension onto that one. You can also go minus if you want to go the other direction. So you can do things like that and get them to all fit together nicely as well. When you're happy with that part, F12 adds it to your list. You can go back to your settings. You can actually call this strange part. You call it whatever you like. It's now called strange part. If you've got graining material, it'll actually put arrows onto the parts. Once you've got your part laid out like this, every time you add in a flap, it adds a new page down here. So this is area 1 upper left. So that's going to be this piece right here. So I click on this one, that piece will now highlight red. And then from here, we can now control these things. So I go, let's go 6 by 5. So you've got full control over the flaps. You can actually do offset them as well. I won't show you in that section right there. You can angle them 20 degrees. So I've angled the side of that flap as well. So you've got a lot of options here. You can offset it from the side. So now 1 inch from the side. So it depends what you want to do. And then you can also add a secondary flap. So that's another flap on the end of that flap. Again, you've got full control over this one. So let's go 2 by 3. This will be strange because it'll actually, now it's got an angled fold in the middle, but it's overall it's parallel. You can specify the angle it wants to fold at. That one goes at 45. That one goes at 45. So between the two, they'll actually go at 90 degrees. You have a lot of control over how these parts move. And we can go back to here and textured, and then let's roll it up and see what it actually does. You'll see as it's starting to fold. It's a bit strange. It's not designed to be a proper part, but you see with the point. So this one here now, so you've got 45 here, 45 here, 45 here, so this one's now flat. So you do have a lot of control over how they fold, what angles they fold at, how do you want to make it work. Again, once you're happy with that, F12 adds it to your list in the background to there. Now you can also take it another step further. I can pull out, say, one of these parts. Let's just pull out the 5-piece wrap for this case. I'll go back to 2D. What you can do is you can go to this level here, the breadcrumb bar, and this lists the parts. So I'm going to go to this 5-piece wrap. I can go into here and I can actually detail this. So I'm going to go here, here, and throw some dimensions in. And you double click on the last one and you can start another one very quickly. So I can very quickly run around here and throw some dimensions in, get some angles in here. Let's see what put the angle down here. So there we go. So we've got a little bit of clearance on the angle as well. Then you can go to the next level again. So I've got my area, my shapes 1. These are all my flaps. So I'm just going to go to area 2, which is that section there. If you unlock it, I can then start drawing things, whatever I like in here. I can do a rectangle, I can do an ellipse, I can start adding drill lines, I can start adding just normal lines, add a line in there. If I go back, I've actually added these into the machining as well. So I can now go into here, go to your 3D, and you'll see those parts. There's obviously a line in the middle, that's just a groove, but they're the parts I've just cut out. So you've got full control, you can draw anything you like. Once you've done that, you've made all your parts, the next thing you can do is go to machining and export all your machining. So it's produce 5 DXFs. You can specify the ATP you want to use, which is the material size generally, and then you hit generate nest. Now you can configure the programs, the easiness we're using. You can configure that through here, and it'll tell you exactly what's going on with it. So you've got full configuration of the machine, settings, strategies, tools, everything you want to do in here as well. So you've got full control, your machine setup, what your labels look like, what your colors look like, output folders, what machine you're actually going to, the driver you're using, all those sorts of things are all configurable within the program. And this is what your sheets look like. So I've got 2 sheets. You can see what the parts look like. So that's the first one. And then there's the second one in there. I don't have the cutout set up, obviously. But then you can go back to your list view. You can now go back and edit any of these parts. So you can go and edit the corner step or edit something else in there. And it's really simple to go from start to finish, literally creating new parts or going all the way to your machining. So thanks very much for watching.